bad music because bad thing happened. Remember when Flynn was Dick and that was the level of stakes we had?
Remember when Flynn was not Dick? No, because it's never happened.
Anyway, this time we're doing Jenna's route. So we do the Jenna and Leo's thing again, but there's some repeat to skip. And then we split up again, and now we're going to stay with Jenna instead of going with Leo onto the cliff for Flynn to see us hanging out in the rocks, and also Chase falls again.
Yeah, yes, Chase always falls.
Yeah.
But I think objectively, even without knowing that these are different routes, I don't think I would have. I think I would have stayed with Jenna anyway. Level-headed individual.
I look towards Leo, hunched forward, ears down, looking like an angry gargoyle perched on the ledge of a church. Hold on, Jenna. I turn back around to face her. I look back over my shoulder at Leo, watching his ears flick towards us. I think Leo wants to be left alone.
You know he does
No, I
not.
don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no. Please come hold me.
Jenna folds her arms and looks past me.
You sure? I thought you can get him to calm down.
I look at Jenna for a while, realizing that I'd just rather talk to someone more collected, rather than a big angry wolf. Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, alright. Should we head back then?
Okay. We start disappearing into the sagebrush. I look back in time to catch a glimpse of Leo looking over his shoulder. I look back down at the ground, wondering if it would have been a good idea to at least tell him that I felt like he needed time alone. I noticed Lena. I noticed Jenna looking around, her huge ears perked up wide like sails.
Like snails?
Falling apart.
She has ears like Slowbro from Pokemon with little swirly ears.
What are you looking for?
TJ.
If it was up to me, I'd be leaving TJ alone as well. But Jenna always worried about him. I follow her through the brush in silence, unsure of what to say.
So why didn't you hang back with Leo?
I move along with her for a while, thinking it over. I don't know. When he's in a bad mood, he's really only good for a fight, you know? I catch up and start walking alongside her, since I was starting to taste the dirt being kicked up by her feet.
She's trailing ahead of you because she walks so fast.
Even though she's so much shorter. Oh my god, Chase can walk? This must be a dream.
Give it time. Give it time. Something will happen.
Yeah, thought it'd be a good idea to let him cool down for a bit. I sort of envy the way she's dressed right now, with her short shorts and tank top. Jeans don't exactly breathe well. I finally start to see our picnic again. Carl's sitting on the lawn chair, his head hanging over the back and smoke wafting around him. Jenna stops and puts her paws on our hips, looking around. Where do you think he went?
There aren't many places he could have gone.
Her eyes seem to settle, and I follow her gaze to a clump of brush and trees next to the river. If TJ had anywhere to hide in the short amount of time he did, that would really be the only place he could have done it. Without a word, Jenna starts in that direction. I tag along awkwardly, kind of feeling like I'm invisible to her right now. As soon as we break through the brush, we spot TJ. I watch as Jenna immediately goes to his side and sits down. TJ's ears perk, but otherwise he doesn't look up. After a while, Jenna wraps an arm around TJ's shoulders. I see him bristle for a sec, and Jenna says something to him that I don't quite catch. Finally, he leans in and hugs her, and I can hear him sniffling. I'm starting to feel like I'm intruding, and I start to back away, but Jenna sees me and jerks her head.
Where are you going, Chase? Come here.
TJ pulls back from Jenna and starts wiping at his eyes. Chase? Yeah. I feel like TJ would be embarrassed to have me around, and he probably is, but Jenna's pretty insistent. So I move forward to stand next to them.
I was just telling TJ about the time we used to float the river in the old inner tube.
I smile and sit down next to Jenna, stretching my legs out. You remember that, Chase?
Oh.
His voice is strained and a little crackly. But he seems to have things under control now.
It's like when you distract a child who's upset, you just talk about other stuff.
Yeah. Remember the dinosaur? The Land Before Time dinosaur. And then his mom dies?
And then he starts crying again. Yeah. That was my first thought. It's like, no, that's sad too.
Remember Happy Children's cartoon where mom dies? Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, all of them.
all of Nemo, Snow White.
And then they cut to the chase and up and like she
Ariel's
can't be a
mom's
mom
dead.
and now she's dead. Ha!
Ha! Got him.
Do I? Always thought it was ridiculous to use one of those things when you could just float on your back.
Yeah, we're not sorry, we're not all living floaties, Chase. Exactly. You don't have the air bubbles that you can catch in your fur because you have the dense otter fur.
Everyone can float on their back.
Yeah, but otters can float much better than us.
Whatnot.
If you fell asleep on the water, you just drown. Otters they fall asleep and they just float around.
We sit there for a while. And now it isn't as awkward. I feel like if it were just me and TJ, things would be a lot more tense. Jenna has a way of making things feel natural and easy. It's like her confidence is a shield to all my weird, awkward stupidity. I guess we'll get to learn that about her because so far she's either been barely there in Leo's route or trying to stab us in Carl's route.
Yeah.
We just had to trust that she supposedly has this effect on people. I hear TJ shift and sniffle as he wipes his face again. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to.
Nope. You stop right there, TJ.
He does stop. It's hard not to when she has a tone like that.
Flynn is an absolute dick. Never let him affect how you feel about things. He only thinks about himself and how he feels. Right, Chase?
I feel like this is a little bit unfair to Flynn.
No, it's not.
Yeah, he was pretty selfish, but he did care about other people.
What?
At least, I think he does. Even though he hardly ever admits to it. Good sign. Probably best to agree with Jenna right now, though. Yeah, he's just not thinking straight right now. I think coming here might have been a bad idea.
That really shouldn't matter. In fact, we probably should have gone to the lake. What happened happened, and there's not much we can do about it. Letting it absolutely rule our lives like this, to the point of preventing us from going where we want to go, that's pretty messed up. We all went through it and it was awful, but we stayed friends and here we are.
Yeah, we're old friends.
Maybe we should celebrate that instead of accusing each other of bullshit.
Yeah. Of course, what Flynn had been saying wasn't complete bullshit. None of us really know exactly what happened. Except TJ.
I didn't have any reason to come here, and if I had the same mindset as Flynn, I never would have.
TJ glances over at Jenna. How are things with you and...
My family? Same as it's been for the past 5 years. I don't know.
Maybe you could try? Jenna sighs deeply. Sorry, I didn't mean...
No, TJ, it's fine. It just...
She seems to be thinking hard about what she's going to say. Man, the things that Jenna could say about her family. I have too many bad memories about that.
That family is completely broken. Like, there's no fixing it. Going back there would just mean trouble. I've learned my lesson. With Adam and Dad gone, it's just my mom and Jeremy now anyway. Not much of a family to go back to.
Has your dad not... Has anyone seen him since?
As far as I know, no. But I wouldn't really care if he is back. And if he really is missing, well, Mom never filed a missing persons report, so I guess it wouldn't matter.
I'm sorry.
It reminds me of Winter's Bone.
Yeah.
There's just a missing parent, and there's no police report. It's just that's just the end of that. That's just it.
Winter's Bone is so good. It's totally fucked.
It's A very good movie, and I recommend it. And it's a very outlier film for what's her face?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, I feel like it's a very unique film on her repertoire of films. It's the most unlike her other roles, I think.
Maybe. I know that she had a bit of a penchant for doing sort of more interesting roles for a while.
I really liked Silver Linings Playbook.
Despite the fact that she was in parallel in Hunger Games and whatnot.
Yeah.
Kind of like that one for me, one for them kind of approach.
That's the way to go, I think, because you need to like garner respect. I mean, you need to do the bullshit stuff so you can do the fun stuff. And I feel like a lot of the fun stuff that you pick, if you pick like the kind of artsy films, garners you more respect as an actual actor, while you make money using the other films.
Because she does have Winter's Bone and Mother.
Oh yes.
And Silver Linings Playbook and on.
Yes, I love all three of those. Mother just makes me immensely upset. It's very stressful.
Yay.
Darren Aronofsky.
Still haven't seen that one, but I know how his other movies go.
Like I said, there's just a very, I don't know, it's 20 minutes of like solid anxiety. Like like anyone who's seen it knows what part I'm talking about, but it's just like, man, I'm just gonna be real tense for a solid 20 minutes. I'm gonna be sore after watching this movie because I sat there so upset and tense that whole time. He's very good at making people upset, which is why I like his movies so much. But anyways, why? You're not the one that messed it all up.
TJ looks away, his ears down. Jenna sighs and puts an arm back around TJ's shoulders.
And here I am, bringing everyone down when the point was to make you feel better. Chase, remind us of something happy.
I jump, then scramble after being put on the spot. Remember when we called it Yee-Ya River?
I remember when you called it Yee-Ya, Chase. You had a bit of a speech impediment back then.
That's oddly ridiculous. Yeah. I remember that. It was kind of cute. When TJ calls you cute.
Yeah, that.
When he was like, I'm going to show up to the crack den in a little ghost costume.
Yeah. Aw.
It's quiet for a moment. Then Jenna gives TJ a little nudge.
So how's school going, TJ?
It's not bad. I got accepted into the athletic training program, which is really cool because they're really selective.
I read that as atheist training program at first.
Like, oh my goodness.
And I was like, whoa,
he's a radical.
He's turning the page on his life there.
I think I'm one of 20 that they chose.
Good job. Wow, that's fantastic, TJ.
TJ smiles, though he's still looking at his feet. Thanks. Hey, but you got into Weston.
I did.
I furrow my brow at that. All the college people managed to just regroup away from the people from Echo just now, is what happened.
Yeah, that is what happened.
Hey, come on. Weston is like the stereotypical best school in the country. She looks over at me and smiles.
It's great, I know. Just a lot of stress. Sometimes I'd like to get a break.
That was a little surprising to hear from Jenna. Usually she's so energized and had a get-her-done attitude about almost anything. That's why I assumed she got into Weston in the first place. Maybe you could take a break then. It's kind of up to you, isn't it?
Just because I want it doesn't mean I need it. Hey, Tej, weren't you wanting to go hiking while we were here? Does TJ actually get to go hiking in this route?
No. I imagine he at least finally goes hiking in his route, at least.
Well, I mean,
right?
at least just with us, like, because he went hiking in the other one. Just he was sad because like we didn't go, and we promised we were gonna go.
In the first route, we don't go hiking with him, and the second route, we don't get hiking with him, and also Leo guilts him for wanting to be friends with us.
And in that one, like I said, and in that one, we promised him. In the first one, we don't.
Yeah.
But the promise is what really broke my heart.
We just keep abandoning TJ, and like, oh. Yeah. I know things are a bit bad right now, but it could be fun to go.
Of course. Oh, sorry, of course, TJ. I was planning to go with you anyway.
Oh, cool. At that point, all of TJ's gloomy demeanor disappears, his tail quirked and his ears raised up. Jenna looks sideways at me, meaningfully. Yeah, definitely didn't want to do that. I'm not even doing anything, and already I'm sweating buckets and looking at the shiny water longingly. I would have jumped in the water by now if TJ wasn't here. For some reason that would seem inappropriate.
Oh, because of the whole river thing with TJ?
We also were just in the water.
That is true.
He just wants to go back in because he walked around a bit. He's like, I'm destroyed. Nature.
Well, Chase, why don't you just swim in the river and they can walk alongside it, and then you guys can take a hike that way.
Right then I feel something pressed down hard on my paw, which is splayed out behind me. Looking over, I see Jenna has her paw on mine, leaning into it. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going. Yes!
Oh.
Jenna lifts her paw off mine and I gulp. It didn't really hurt, but something about her suddenly touching me like that.
It's settled then. We should probably get back. We want to get a lot of rest before the hike tomorrow.
Bye, everyone else.
Isn't it like 3 p.m.? Like.
Yeah, but we've emotional rest.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like this. Yeah, that was our entire day. We went to the river and yelled, and then we made up, and then we went back to bed.
Well, I think that emotional rest.
We're doing it.
We are doing it.
We're doing it. TJ gets to have a hike.
Honestly, I will agree though. A hike in the desert doesn't seem like. It seems like it'd be pretty uncomfortable.
Bring a hat.
Yes.
Like a big hat.
Yeah, Keith learned about the hat.
Well, I knew about the hat, but I didn't know. So, you're talking about like my horrible burns, right?
Yeah.
We were in Mammoth and we didn't know how bad the sun was going to be or how much I was going to be in it or how much my hair is thinning and so on and so forth. And then and it didn't look that bright, like that bad out. And we're kind of in the car or in the woods a lot. And it's just, I didn't know how bad things were. And then I fucking had the worst sunburn of my life. Like to the point where I had to like after like laying in bed for like an hour or two, just suffering and just feeling prickling feelings all over my head and just being incapable of sleeping because I'm in pain continuously. I was researching online and then found like I need to like sit there and like run it under cold water for like a while. Like I just stood there, like one hand, like I was standing outside of the hotel shower with one hand against the shower wall so I could lean over to just have my head just in the cold water. And just deal with it that way, and just stood there for like 10 minutes or something, and that at least numbed it enough that I went to sleep. But that was just deeply frustrating. But no, like I've hiked in the desert before because we went to the first like week-long geology trip I had to go on was Rainbow Basin at Barstow, and I was prepared. I had my Camelback, and I had a giant straw hat to just completely just get sun off of my head and shoulders. And other people were hospitalized over the course of that trip, but I was fine.
Hospitalized?
Yeah.
Damn.
Like immediately, there was somebody who was driven into Barstow with heat stroke. And it's like, there was people who showed up with like a bottle of water, like that was going to be enough. Like they were warned and they just didn't fucking prepare. And it's like, we knew this was coming all semester. Like it was during like our break. Like that's when they do those kinds of things. And and it's just people just don't listen and they fuck up and they put themselves in danger. And it's like, it was like 107 degrees all week.
And just being outside consistently.
Yeah, and we're camping out there. Like there was no leaving. Like that person had to get shuttled all the way to Barstow because they were putting themselves in danger. But everyone else, like we're just in the heat all day, and then you sleep in a tent on site, and then go right back into the heat, and you're not showering all week. Like you're just having a bad time. That was when I first learned that when you're sweating enough. And even if you're drinking like liters of water with Gatorade powder mixed in and whatever the fuck to get through it all, you just never have to pee.
Yeah.
I've never had that experience until that, where I'm like, oh, you could just not pee for like a long time. Just a very long time because none of the water.
Sweating out your pee.
Yeah, you're just sweating out all of the water that you're drinking, which is a little distressing. But that was the trip where I started appreciating coffee, which I'd avoided doing forever because it's like bitter and kind of gross. And it's like, I can have caffeine from better ways. But coffee was what was around, so I got used to that. And I gained a deep appreciation for how fucking good a strawberry jelly and peanut butter sandwich is when you're fucking exhausted and hungry and it's hot out.
Yeah.
Like, suddenly they're incredible. Like, they were so good every time. But that was the desert. I don't mind the desert. It's neat. But also bad for you.
Yeah, I like it visually. And I probably would like being in it. I just have I've never been out there for an extended period of time to know how well I would do.
Yeah.
But I do like all the scary critters out there, and I like the spooky emptiness of it.
We gained a deep appreciation for the fact that, like, the first building you see in Barstow is a Foster's Freeze. And, like, the one time we were in town, we were just horrible and gross, and we're just like, oh my fucking god, there's a Foster's Freeze here. And we're just, like, in the air conditioning, and there's ice cream and, like, hot dogs and bullshit.
Hey, they probably do pretty well out there.
It recontextualizes a lot of things, and you have a lot of really minor joys as a result. It's dumb. It's goofy.
Yeah, suffering yields satisfaction. So where are we headed, TJ?
Jenna sounds like she's in a much better mood than yesterday. We all are, really. Especially with Leo not here. And no Flynn.
Just dropped all the toxic characters. Oh, wait, unless.
Unless? What's your deal, Jenna? Let's find out. The canyon. Echo Canyon, more specifically. You ever been? Don't we live in
I was gonna say, yeah, you better have been there. You live fucking there.
I guess it's not called the canyon, necessarily. Although the canyon is where Flynn went through to save us, right? I think we just heard Flynn say specifically Echo Canyon during the drive home, which means we're probably currently by the mine.
Good to know.
So that's a good start.
Mental note.
He looks at both of us with a grin.
Nope.
No, me neither. His ears fall a little. What? You know the town is named after it, right? How have you never been there before? I shrug and Jenna laughs.
Because you have to walk through 3 miles of snake-infested desert to get there.
That makes me bristle, because there definitely are snakes here. I can't help but scan the brush. You really shouldn't worry about that. They're more afraid of you than you are of them, and they do have a rattle, so just listen for it. Like a baby. Jenna grins and looks straight at me.
Yeah, you're right. The most dangerous animal you'll find in these parts is the blonde.
An involuntary shiver works itself up my spine. Jenna! TJ frowns. That's even less likely, Jenna. Great. Now that you said it, I'm gonna be all uptight for the rest of the hike.
You're welcome. Anyway, let's get going. We want to make it to the top by noon.
The fuck is the blonde?
I don't know. A legend, like a yeti or something?
Is it the thing that attacked us last time in the woods? Or the one that, like, crossed the gap from the mountain to our car in 2 seconds?
Chupacabra. Didn't look blonde to me at all.
A few hours in, and TJ is quite a bit ahead of us.
Few hours.
I feel a bit bad about it, but I think he likes it that way. Probably wants to think after yesterday. Jenna and I walk side by side, and she's making sure that I drink water the entire time.
You should be done with that by now.
She gestures at the water bottle, which is still half full. That's a good way to pace yourself, is just to, like, have milestones to hit, because otherwise it's hard to think about how much water you're drinking. Come on, I've had like 3 already. I take a sip, then almost snort water as Jenna tips up the bottle, tips up the bottom of the bottle.
A little controlling there, Jenna. Hey, I made TJ a promise here. You're an otter, you need it.
Stop. I cough a few times, water running down my chin and chest. Even though it feels good, I wipe it away with a forearm. Jenna chuckles before we start walking again.
Actually, you don't really need more water than me or TJ, as he could tell you. The water thing's actually more of a psychological need as opposed to a physical one.
Oh yeah? I look over my wet camera bag, which definitely didn't need water.
Yeah, you know, back when there weren't really any ethics in research, they separated an otter pup from water, never allowed him to swim. Wait a minute here. She's a psychology major, right? Is she gonna do some fucked up stuff to us in terms of? Is she gonna? Is she all into like the weird fucked up experiments?
If like Echo Jenna goes into like mad scientist mode on us.
Well, I just wonder if she has like qualms with. I wonder how she feels about ethics in testing of psychology.
Never let the otter pup swim. I think this might dive into the metaphor I was driving at with Chase living in the desert and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like reminding me of the monkey experiment where they give him like a comfortable mama and a feeding mama,
plush, comfortable, warm mom,
neither of them
and then
are real.
one that looks like it's just made of metal.
Yeah, and like they'd go to the metal one for the sustenance, but then they'd always go to the comfort one like 90% of the time outside of that. And then they all went insane anyway, because this is a fucked up thing to do to animals. Is like, let them have real animals with them. That makes me pause. Technically, in this day and age, otters don't really need to swim. A trip to the supermarket gets all that done.
What does that mean? As in, like, a trip to the supermarket?
Oh, food. Like, they don't need to swim for food.
Oh, I see, okay.
They'd get food. But something about not being allowed to be in water, to feel the cool, isolated space that I so longed to be in. What happened?
Depressed, disengaged, neurotic in general. Then when they were done, they just had to set him loose into the world. He killed himself a few years later.
Wow.
Yep. I mean, ethics are in place now, of course. Not that the psychological association is any better. You probably heard about their role in the whole advanced interrogations controversy.
Like the waterboarding stuff?
Yeah, but it really makes you realize how powerful the brain is. It's not all physical necessities.
Must have been pretty awful for him that he killed himself. I can't imagine.
I think she's gonna torture us. at least like psychologically. I think she's gonna fuck us up in our brain.
At this point, we're so primed to be like, what's wrong with these people?
Yeah, but that seems like a real dark thing to start talking about out of nowhere. So I think she might just have a thing for it.
I mean, this is a conversation you would start.
It is. That's why I'm predicting this is gonna happen.
Oh, okay, great. Talking about offing oneself, though, it's got me thinking about Jenna's brother.
Oh.
So,
you wanted to talk about Adam?
No.
See, she fucking knew.
I sort of did, but I don't think that would be appropriate at all. I was just wondering, are you going to see your family sometime during the trip? We talked about it earlier, but I guess you didn't really give an answer. Jenna snorts loudly, tossing her head back.
You're kidding, right?
I feel my cheeks flush, knowing that I might have said something really offensive. I'm not really in tune with how things are with Jenna's family. Leo, and sometimes even Flynn, dealt with most of that. I mean, aren't you a little bit curious?
Curious is the wrong word.
Oh?
Maybe morbidly curious. See, I'm telling you, man. She's morbidly curious. Anyway, they haven't bothered contacting me since I left, so as far as I can tell, they're not missing me.
Guys, there's a giant dip over here, so watch your step.
You're a giant dip, TJ.
No, he's very short.
I know.
TJ is quite a bit ahead of us now. I don't even see him anymore around the boulders and brush. I pick up the pace and Jenna follows. Well, do you miss them? She doesn't say anything for a while, which tells me she's really thinking about it.
No.
She says it, finally, surprising me a little with her bluntness.
At least, not my mom and dad. Not even Adam.
Really? Jenna shifts around as she grabs another water bottle out of the backpack and hands it to me.
Adam. He had problems. Mom and dad fucked him up, of course, but he took it out on me. He did some messed up stuff.
I debate whether or not I should ask what exactly messed up stuff was, but I'm way too scared of what it might be.
Jeremy, though. I guess I wouldn't mind seeing him again.
I give her an incredulous look. See, Jeremy's the one I would have thought you wouldn't have wanted to talk to.
Yeah. Now, Clint is the one that fucked up Jeremy. But he really was a good person before then.
The web of characters interconnected.
Yeah. So Jeremy was the one that earlier on they were saying you could buy weed off of.
Yeah, he's also the little shit that was like scowling at us the whole time we came to her house.
Yeah, while the dad was drunkenly trying to eat nachos, which I remember very distinctly.
Yeah.
Because he kept missing the...
Yeah, he just put his hand in the
He put it in the cheese on
and then just stared at it for a while, like not registering what he did.
That's very good writing for what a really sloshed person would do, so I respected the imagery.
I thought he was high.
I think he was just drunk off his ass. I've seen this happen, things like this.
Jeremy was, for as long as I can remember, a royal dick. A bully to me, TJ, and Carl. Along with Clint, he terrorized our childhood. That is, until Leo showed up. I'll never forget the day Leo rammed Jeremy's head into a tree and punched Clint so many times in the face his eyes almost swelled shut. Of course, Leo never got in trouble because neither of their parents gave a shit. Good town.
Yeah, because I'm sure the parents are probably also beating their kids, so you don't want to have the police look at the kids and see the other stuff that was done to them. Environment is really important to how you develop as a person.
I think for a second. Well, you turned out alright, as far as you think.
Environment and temperament make us who we are. Some people can just take more. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man, she's all about... she's gonna...
Let's find out how much you can take, Jason.
Yeah, exactly.
It's clear that her temperament was a lot stronger than mine. Whatever that was. If I had parents like that, I don't know how I would have survived. I take another gulp of water, and it's then that I realize how badly I need to pee.
Oh, he's not sweating enough, like...
Yeah, he's not sweating enough. He's just embraced the heat. Praise the sun. Looking off to the side, I spot a rather large boulder surrounded by sagebrush. But the worst thing you could ever do is take a piss, Chase. You're gonna get attacked by a monster.
Oh, you're right. He can't do... Every story so far has had a point where they distinctly point out when Chase has to piss.
Here comes the third drug addict nightmare man, Logan. Here he comes. Right at the moment you need to take a piss. Hey, you go ahead. I gotta take a piss. Jenna quirks her muzzle and folds her arms.
Sure you don't want me to wait up for you? I'm kidding.
He turns and starts walking up the trail.
Watch out for spiders.
Ha ha.
Oh, spiders, yeah, because Chase doesn't like those.
He really hates spiders. Sometimes Jenna's jokes were so dry that I had a hard time figuring out if she was really joking or not.
But you honestly should look out for spiders. That's a genuine recommendation.
There can always be spiders.
Around here, yeah.
I dodge my way around the sagebrush and tumbleweeds towards the boulder and start to piss. Jenna really is an enigma. She's nice enough, and smart, but she has this edge about her that always has me on guard for some reason, despite us explaining how she always makes us feel comfortable.
A little contradictory, you know.
Fur prickles on the back of my neck. I'm not sure what it is, but something isn't right. I look left and right in the small chance that someone else is coming up the trail. It's weird feeling like this in broad daylight. Normally I don't get so uptight unless it's dark. I hear it's the opposite, with species that can see better at night. Something's watching you from the brush. A shiver runs up my spine, and I tremble under its influence. As if of its own accord, my head whips around, immediately focusing on a clump of sagebrush 30 feet away. And there, right in the middle, someone's face is staring at me. I can only call it a face because there are two eyes and a mouth, but I've never seen anything like it. It's flat, wide and stretched out, sagging where the chin should be. I can't help myself. I yelp loudly and stumble to the side as I whip my body around to defend myself, somehow conscious of the fact that my dick is still out. Then, if it all comes together, I stare for a few seconds longer, then force out a tight, high-pitched laugh. Are you fucking kidding me? It's a rock. A white rock. And the sagebrush twigs have fallen over it perfectly to give it features similar to that of a face. I sigh and rub my own face with both my paws, feeling my heart hammering in my chest. I always did this shit to myself. As I lower my paws, I notice a wet streak across the left side of my pants. I hadn't finished peeing yet.
Oh no.
You fucking son of a bitch. I hiss and turn back to the boulder, trying to work myself into a peeing mood again. Finally, I start finishing up. The prickling feeling on my neck starts up again. I try to ignore it, but it's getting worse and worse. I shake my hips around a few times, then zip up and start back up around the boulder. It's at that point that I give a quick glance back at the brush. The rock isn't there anymore. I stare, one paw on the boulder, feeling my fur start to bristle out all over my body. What? Maybe it's because I'm at a different angle now. The feeling of being watched is overpowering, though, and it's coming from the other side of the boulder, where I was just at. I look up the trail, but I don't see TJ or Jenna at all. I can't even hear them. I look back towards the boulder, wondering if I'm losing my mind. Gritting my teeth, I turn away and start back up the trail at a brisk walk, knowing that I'm acting just like a little kid. Despite that, I feel myself start to panic a little, and soon enough I'm running up the trail, and I'm not looking back. How you doing?
Happy music now.
Scary monsters. And we know that there's monsters out here.
We do, and
somewhere.
after seeing that one on the road, I'm a little bit
Maybe
like...
it's the blonde.
That doesn't make sense. What do they call it that?
I don't know. We made it! He says it, even though he's already sitting down on what looks like a rock bench. He probably got here a good 10 minutes ago before us. I'm sweating all over the place, but Jenna seems fine. It's embarrassing because it's only now that I realize she's been hanging back because of me. Group hug!
Sweaty group hug!
Yeah, piss streak on your pants.
Yay!
TJ stands and holds his paws out. I want to protest because of how gross I must look. This fucking music. The twang started happening. I want to protest because of how gross I must look, but Jenna sort of forces me into it as TJ walks up to us. This is a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for coming.
Say was, but we're like, we have to go back now.
Yeah, we're only halfway there.
Well, we're glad you had fun, even if we weren't able to keep up.
As we lean back from the hug, I see Jenna's nose wrinkle. I press my tail a little closer to my rear. Alright, let's eat. We sit down on the rock bench, and TJ starts pulling sandwiches out of the soft cooler. He'd been so excited about our trip that he'd gone to the convenience store by himself at 5 in the morning and made all of our sandwiches.
Oh, what a sweetie pie.
It's actually pretty good, too. There's even avocado on it, even if it's the packaged mushy kind, according to him. We eat in silence for a while, and looking over, I can see that Jenna's deep in thought, chewing slowly. It's weirdly quiet now. What's up? She shrugs, then swallows.
Just thinking about how this might be the last time we really get to hang out is all.
That's kind of a sad thing to say.
Well, think about it. I graduate in a few months, and then I'll be off to the other side of the country. Then you'll graduate, Chase, and I don't think you'll be sticking around here.
Maybe.
And you, TJ, you might just leave the country.
That would make sense. TJ's parents are back in his hometown. I think we'll get together again. It's just a matter of planning it right. We did immediately split off to just be the college people off on our own without any of the Echo people.
Yeah.
We committed. We're all here to visit Echo, but not you. It might be a while, but it'll happen. And there's always the internet.
I'm just saying, I hope Flynn can get over himself before the end of our trip. I don't think this should be our big send-off.
We've still got time. I lean back and drape my arms over the back of the bench, closing my eyes. I really want to take my shirt off, though. The fabric is almost soaked through, and it's clinging in a really gross way to my fur. The sun is beating down on me, shining bright red through my eyelids. If only there was a pond up here, I'd be able to sink to the bottom, the sun reduced to a shimmering silver. My type isn't really built for this kind of weather. I feel Jenna shift next to me, and suddenly I feel her nose up against my ear and I shiver a little. What the hell was she doing? I start to turn my head towards her.
Chase, do you need some musk off?
I open my eyes, then squint against the brightness of the sun. What?
I said...
She leans forward, obviously not wanting TJ to hear. She laughs a little before she starts again. Do you need deodorant, you fucking loser?
You're smelling a little strong.
Instantly, my ears burn and I scoot away instinctively, lowering my eyes.
Oh, poor... Oh.
Shit. Sorry.
No, it's alright. You didn't know we were going on a hike before you packed. But I have some.
TJ's looking over at us curiously, as he nibbles on his salad wrap. Ears perked and I don't know why. But I glare at him, already humiliated enough. He frowns. What? Nothing. Jenna's just telling me I stink. Oh. Jenna laughs, then reaches over to her backpack to open the top zipper, talking in a normal voice now.
It's the female brand, so it's not as strong, but it should get the job done.
Thanks.
I think, gendered deodorant is stupid. And so I just buy the hippy-dippy kind that doesn't have aluminum in it, but I just use the unisex smells because I like eucalyptus and sandalwood too.
Don't want to pay the pink tax?
Yeah, fuck that. I use Harry's razors. I don't use girl razors.
They're just razors. It's bizarre.
I know. People just want to take advantage of me. Fuck them.
I grumble and snatch it from her paw, instantly feeling shitty about it because I know she's just trying to be nice. Even though TJ and Jenna are probably the nicest people in our little group, it's still fucking embarrassing. I actually prefer Flynn's ribbing right now. I stalk off around a rather large bush and pull down my pants. The can is pink and covered in flowers. Great. I grab my tail and yank it up before giving my ass a good liberal dose of girl smells. Of course, if I'd known I'd be doing anything so sweat-inducing, I would have brought my own boy-smelling brand. Gender! But I'm stuck with this, smelling like a girl in front of Jenna.
One of my favorite, or one of the many, many great lyrics I like from the band Hole is there's one part where she just yells, "It smells like girl, it smells like girl." I love that part.
This is more embarrassing than deodorant because it's like fucking animal musk glands. Like he has to like go for his ass and stuff.
And it's, but I don't think, I'm trying to think, I don't think she would have that.
I don't know.
I mean, otters, like that whole sound, all the whole genre, like they're like musk, they musk a lot. But I don't think she's a little fox. I don't think she has that.
I don't know. I don't know the rules.
Dogs have their weird little anal glands, and
distress.
It's really gross because if you work as a vet or if you work in the grooming industry, you have to help them express them sometimes.
It's good to help people express themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's what they meant by that. I don't think there's a greeting card about like anal glands. So
Guess it's better than nothing.
Long story short, animals are gross and people are animals and we're all gross. Everything on earth is gross. Being alive is gross.
They're like on a mission to make being an animal as gross as possible in this game.
Well, at least I kind of appreciate the
They keep
realism
adding
of
more
it,
to it.
because being a person's gross, and they kind of make being a furry seem like kind of cute and fun.
Yeah.
But you gotta remember that there's all, just like I said, just being alive upon this earth has aspects of it that are disgusting, and you can't really avoid that whether you're furry or human.
As I come back around the bush, I can tell something's off. TJ meets eyes with me, then quickly looks down, frowning. I glare. I'd honestly be happier if he just joined in with Jenna and laughed at me instead. She's buried in her phone right now, which is annoying since she told us that before the hike that phones weren't allowed.
Okay, Mom. All done?
She doesn't even look up, but points at the bag with a foot.
Go ahead and stick it back in the bag.
I sigh and bend over to shove the can back in, then notice that it's been zipped closed again. Without thinking, I zip it back and widen the gap, and immediately find a big, furry, orange and black spider glaring out at me from the bag.
Oh.
That's why TJ's acting different. They had like a prank ready. I scream like a fucking girl and jump, dropping the can, stumbling back and falling flat on my ass as I trip over some rocks. He always falls. I landed my tail wrong and it sends a jolt of pain at my back. Look at happy TJ!
Oh,
my
that's
God.
a cute one. He's sticking his tongue out.
This is the most mischievous he's ever been.
That's a very mischievous face.
Yeah.
Jenna's like that.
Pathetic. Jenna, who already started laughing the moment I screamed, puts a paw to her muzzle. Only one, though, because the other one's holding her camera phone, and she's filming the whole fucking thing.
Oh God, are you okay?
She's still smiling behind her paw. Fine. I guess I have a decision to make. Whether to get mad or just shrug it off and laugh with them.
90% of the time, you want to do the last one.
Yeah, but you also really want to do the first one.
Yeah, it feels good to do the first one until it doesn't.
Yeah.
Then you feel like an asshole. So, but every once in a while, you got to do the first one if it's something that requires you to really stand up for yourself for something symbolic, or
Yeah.
because you get picked on a lot or something. But yeah, most of the time, just do the other one.
I go with the latter and grin sheepishly. Wow. I'd expect that from you, Jenna, but TJ? What the hell, man? TJ flinches, a sad look on his face.
Oh,
She told me she'd throw it off the cliff if I said anything.
just throw him off the cliff.
Oh, she told me she'd throw me off the cliff if I said anything. I'm like, it's not a real spider, TJ.
I was gonna say, is it not? I was hoping it was.
No, there's no way.
But they have black and orange furry tarantulas in areas just like that.
But the chance that she would just catch one, like that was so set up.
Yeah, I guess so.
Jenna laughs again and puts her phone away, before picking up the can and shoving it into the bag.
Success.
Where the hell did you even get that from?
The one rest stop with a souvenir shop. Alright, everyone done? I know you need to get some shots of the canyon chase. Let's go do that.
Which he never does in any other timeline. Remember the school project that we pretend to care about for about 3 days of every trip?
I constantly forget that was even an aspect of this story.
It just has so little chance of getting completed knowing what happens in the setting. The truth is, kid, you were doomed from the start.
Yeah.